Tonight is the NBA Finals. And among the narratives that will be established, and look, could I give you a prediction? I could, but I honestly have no idea if and when Kevin Durant will play, and if and when Kevin Durant will play, how will he look? DeMarcus Cousins has been activated, kind of like some Jerry curls in Coming to America, right? Little soul glow. So he's available, but we don't know if he'll play and how he'll look, right? So it's very difficult to determine. If the Warriors were at full strength, I would favor them. I would favor them to win in 5 games maybe. But even within those predictions of games, I don't know how those games will go. Now you factor in, I don't know if Cousins plays. I don't know how he's used. I don't know how healthy he is. I don't know how many minutes he can play. And I don't know about Kevin Durant. That changes things. So instead of giving you these predictions as to what'll happen, we've kind of talked about that the last couple of days, I can predict that there is basically one of 3 narratives that will take place. Kawhi Leonard is the best player on earth if he dominates and they win. And then from the Warriors' perspective, either they don't or do need Kevin Durant. Right? That's it. If they win, they don't really need him. He didn't make them better. If they lose, you know what? They really need Kevin Durant. Steph's not that good. Here's what Draymond Green had to say in regards to playing without Kevin Durant.
There's so much noise that comes about, are they better or worse without Kevin? Can we stop the conversation because it's idiotic? Do we play a different brand of basketball when Kevin's not out there? Absolutely. Sure. But you'd be idiotic to think that we shouldn't. That's where all the noise comes from. And so it's y'all need to keep Kevin a part of it. Well, I disagree with that because Kevin is a part of this. Mm-hmm. He's been a part of this. And everybody else kind of creates the narrative of, it's us. Right. And then it's Kevin or it's the Warriors. And then it's the Warriors with KD. No, it's still the same team.
He went on, and this is a really thoughtful interview with Rachel Nichols. I have to be more of a scoring threat when Kevin's not out there. I have to really try to push the pace when he's not out here. When Kevin's out there, we have the luxury of just saying, okay, that set didn't work. We still got this guy to just throw it to anyway and get out of the way. The luxury isn't there anymore. I also think with Kevin being out, we're trying to make up 37 points again. We're not going to make those 37 points up just walking the ball up the floor, thinking we have to have the same trust in the same set as if Kevin was on the floor. So how do you make up those points? Get extra possessions. Get the pace where you want. Get some easy buckets. That's how you make it up. This is an extremely high basketball IQ conversation. And if you don't get it, that's okay. I would consider you a civilian. Right? We call it, my friends, we call us civilians. Don't worry. But I got called on the carpet a little bit because I said last week I thought that we need to stop the idiocy, and it wasn't directed at any one individual person. This isn't a conversation that people in the media have had. It defies logic because it's not actually true. No, is it possible that you're better at times without a star player? Yes, but in the case of Kevin Durant and the Warriors, it's like you didn't actually watch the success with them. And I understand that you can point out, look at the record without him. Would they be better? Of course they wouldn't. The 32-1 in a small sample size, who did they play? And who is, maybe most importantly, who's Steph Curry's backup? Look, this is not a shot at Quinn Cook. He is living every point guard's dream of making it to the NBA after winning a national championship in college. But dude was a G League player going back to last year. Because of what he's done to the salary cap, I mean, he being signing Kevin Durant, and frankly, Steph Curry's new contract, their bench is extremely limited. Where it's not limited is in hybrid forwards. They still have a couple of hybrid forwards that are higher level. And we focus on things. We also don't know who they've played. Well, they beat Portland. They smacked Portland when Kevin Durant was playing. And you know what they didn't do? Trail by 17 or more points in 3 consecutive games to end up with 3 or more wins. Well, you look at everybody's points are up. Of course, because they have more opportunities because there's a guy who scores 30 a night that's not there. And the reason that, do they play differently? Yes. This is, you don't have to move the ball and use sleight of hand and try and space the floor. Would I like to see them do more? Yeah, they actually did that at the end of the season. Like Kevin Durant's numbers weren't great because he didn't play that as many minutes this year. Because he tried to operate within their system more. But Draymond, understanding what his role is and how it changes based upon who he's playing with, only shows what a ridiculously high level of basketball IQ he has, and frankly, most guys in the NBA have. Most do. It's funny, I have this conversation with my son. I said, look, when you play on, NJB is like rec basketball. When you play on this NJB team, I want you to be like James Harden. You can't shoot too much. You can't handle the ball too much because you're at a much higher level than everybody else around you. And I'll try and create a mismatch, and then you just go. When you play on our normal travel team, you know, you look to score some, you look to pass some, you do a little bit of everything. And sometimes I don't even play him at point guard because I have another guy who's, frankly, a little bit more solid at point guard at this age. And then when I play him against older kids, I'm like, look, you just stay out there and survive. Guard your guy. Don't lose the ball. If you're open, shoot it, but just keep the ball moving. And if you're wide open, then you make a play. There's different roles based upon who you're playing with. That's basketball. I tell people all the time, like, don't invite me to play in a pickup game where you expect me to be your best player, but I also don't enjoy being the worst player. Like, I can't go over to UCLA and play with the pros because I'm just not any good. If I'm somewhere between the 5th and the 7th or 8th best player on the court, I'm good. Even 8th or 9th or 10th, I'm okay. Like, I just, when I'm a substantial notch below, it's not a fun feeling. Not a fun feeling. But you also have to read the court. That's part of sport. What is my role on this team? Do I have to be a vocal leader? So I do think there's going to be discussion about, and it's an end-all be-all, if they get smashed tonight, they'll be like, man, they need Kevin Durant back. And if they win tonight, it's like, they don't need Kevin Durant. Of course they're better with a, you know, it's really funny. I think Kevin Durant's still listed at 6'9". And most people believe he's over 7 feet tall. But whatever. A 7 foot 1, 2, 3, 4 who can guard all those positions was the most dominant scorer in the playoffs this year, is a good passer, is a very good rebounder, and has become a good defender and a good rim protector. If you don't think they're better with Kevin Durant as a 2-time consecutive Finals MVP, I can't really help you. But that's what people are going to talk about based upon the result tonight. It's just easier because there's less thinking involved. Sports are really process oriented. And if you think the process was easy against Portland, you didn't watch the same game I watched. It was fun. Like, how many points can they spot them before they're going to come back? And here they come. That was fun. But the process was much more difficult, even if the result was 4 wins and no losses. And Draymond Green said, you got to be an idiot to think, what he said? Idiotic. Let's go with silly. For whatever reason, it puts people as less defensive. It's a less terse word. And it's a little childish, but so too is the argument that Kevin Durant, who won 2 Finals MVP, that a team that swept in the NBA Finals last year. Did they sweep last year? Yeah, last year they swept, right? Swept last year in the Finals. They were 16-1 the year before. Somehow is worse off with him than they are without him. But that's going to be based upon, again, not based upon the game, not based on how it's played, on the result of tonight.